You just spent 3 days completely overhauling your client's website. When you see the email come in, the subject line is always the same. Quick edit. You don't even have to open the email to know that its contents are going to make you want to throw your laptop out the closest window. If endless revision requests have got you feeling instant resentment every time you hear from a client, then I want you to stop pulling out your hair for just 1 minute so that you can grab a pen and a notebook, because I promise you, you are going to want to take notes on this video. In today's video, I'll be sharing the 4 simple tweaks that you can make to your client process today to seriously rein in the number of revision requests that you are receiving while still keeping your clients super happy and raving about your services. But before I do, if your current web design client process or lack thereof has you feeling all kinds of stretched out and stressed, then I want to share with you the exact client process checklist, which I use in my own web design business, as well as a planner to help you design the perfect client process for you. It's called the Complete Client Process Template for web designers, and you can find that for free right here or also in the description below. Okay, ready to dive into those 4 tips for cutting down on revision requests while still keeping your clients happy? Tip number 1 is to set clear expectations before they even book with you. When you hop on a consult call and you instantly click with a client, it's easy to think, wow, this person is super chill. They seem like they'd be so easy to work with. So getting into all the fine print stuff this early in the game would just totally kill the vibe. Or maybe you can already spot the potential for some scope creep with that client, but as a new designer, you worry that maybe setting boundaries will make you come off as bossy and that the inquiries will suddenly dry up and then just blow away. But setting clear expectations around your client process is not just good for you as a website designer, it's also super vital part of creating a positive, high-end client experience. By bringing it up while the conversation is still light and the excitement is high, you avoid so many awkward conversations and unpleasant surprises for that client in the future. So the initial booking call is a fabulous place to bring up revisions and how they fit into your client process. Your client has likely never worked with a professional website designer before, so they don't know the questions to be asking to make sure you are both on the same page, and they will be appreciative that you've already thought of everything. Setting clear expectations early on is what keeps clients chill and from turning into nightmare clients, which you can't wait to be done working with. Tip number 2 is to communicate how you'd like your client feedback submitted. So before you ever sit down to start designing and showing your client your progress, it's important to let them know which format you prefer receiving that feedback in and when to be sending it. This way, you aren't getting a text here, a DM there, one email with a bit of information there, and then another email 20 minutes later with an edit to that edit, or having to hop on a call every 2 days because they showed their website to their friends and their business partner and their mom and their dog who made a comment that just caused your client some second guessing to the thing they told you to do yesterday that they were over the moon thrilled about. So try setting just one location where all the edits and tweaks and ideas and even questions will get submitted, and then setting a plan for how often you will review that list together. So this might look like a shared Google Doc or them keeping a running list, which then they share with you on a call or a screen recorded Loom video, walking you through all the changes that they'd like made at once. This way will make it easier for you to actually understand and deliver what your client is asking for, because you won't have to sift through 57 different threads of communication trying to piece together all the random bits of feedback that they've sent you before you can even begin the next phase of the design process, and there's no risk of their requests slipping through the cracks. Okay, on to the next expectation to be setting early on to set yourself up for success, and that is to communicate how many rounds of revisions their web design package actually includes. So this is my favorite tip for dealing with client feedback and revisions, and the good news is there's actually a way to do this that will protect your time and sanity as a website designer without making your client feel shortchanged in terms of the amount of support they're going to receive when they make the decision to work with you. Now, rather than picking some arbitrary number like you only get 25 tweaks to your website, once they're used up, you're on your own, try offering a revision check-in point at set intervals throughout your project in which clients can feel free to submit however many edit requests their little heart desires. So yes, you're technically offering unlimited revisions from the client's perspective, which they love, but it also means that once the round is over, it's over, and anything new things that pop up will have to wait until the next round. And when you wrap up that final round and they still come back to you with more edit requests, you can gently remind them that the package they purchased only included 3 rounds of revisions and that any additional rounds would be at an extra cost. This encourages your client to come prepared and get the most out of each round rather than letting revisions and therefore the project drag way past the deadline. Speaking of deadlines, in order for this whole situation that we're talking about to work, you need to clearly define what makes up one round of revisions. How many days does your client have to be reviewing the latest version of their design before feedback is officially due and the door to the revision request closes? Communicate clear deadlines around when each round starts and stops and what the expected turnaround time will be for you to complete those edits so that they can get their sneak peek of the site design again. And if you're thinking, but wait, can't my client just log into their site and see my progress anytime they'd like? Which brings me to my final tip: give your client something to look forward to. Imagine you're building a new house. As every HGTV show in the history of history has ever taught us, it's all about the big reveal. So when you as a homeowner are allowed to walk through the house whenever you want throughout the whole project, not only will you never get to experience the wonderful surprise of seeing your dream come to life for the first time, it can also be super easy for you to spot something unfinished and start to worry that you made the wrong decision or that it's not going to turn out the way that you were picturing. So you start to seriously doubt yourself and your contractor, and suddenly you're obsessing over the smallest details that you literally didn't even know were a thing until today and are probably going to be covered up during some later part of the building process anyways. The same goes for when you're building someone's online home or website. If they eagerly log in every few days to check on your progress and discover that their services page is still a complete mess and you haven't added that button to their header yet, and they don't realize the image you're using is just a temporary placeholder, they might start to wonder if you really know what you're doing. So to avoid clients stopping by your virtual construction site every few days asking for edits on something that isn't even done yet, consider limiting the access your client will have to the back end of their website until you're ready to hand over the project in full. Instead, give them something to look forward to by setting a clear date that you'll be popping in their inbox with a link to check out their latest website design. I hope that these tips will inspire you and give you hope that it doesn't have to be this way for forever. There are a few simple tweaks that you could be making to your client design process that will completely transform the way you feel about client revision requests. And if most days you feel like you're just making it up as you go along and you wish you could save yourself the time and the headache and have a rock solid repeatable process that you use in the same way every time you onboard a new client, then don't forget to grab the free copy of my client process template for web designers at the link right here, or also in the description below. Thank you so much for visiting and joining me today. If you found this video helpful, be sure to let me know by hitting the like button. It greatly helps the video, so thank you. And remember, for the best tips and tricks on building a web design business that you love, be sure to hit subscribe and tap the bell button so you'll be notified when new content drops on the channel every single week. And if you're looking for something to watch next, be sure to check out these videos too.